Hey guys, Dave the MMP. Welcome back to Yola. Gonna do some work on the winches in the cockpit today. I've got some really old Barlows that are there, number 6s, and they've been there for probably 30 years. I don't think they're original because I looked underneath and it looks like there's another bolt pattern of holes that used to be there, so somebody's changed the winches along the way. But there's no chrome left on them. I can start to see the, I think they're brass underneath. So they're gonna, they obviously have an issue with corrosion resistance. I picked up these Arco 30s, and so the existing ones are size 6s, but these are just meant for spinnaker or as a secondary winch in the cockpit. The main Genoa winches are ahead of these guys, and I'll let you have a look. All right, in the cockpit. So here's the winches that I want to replace. They're number 6 Barlow. Looks like they got some sort of chrome. It's wearing off the brass in the back. And here's my primary winch. So Harken 40s. And I picked up these Arco 30s to replace this little guy. It's only going to be a secondary winch. And the reason I went for black anodized was because of the Harkens. So they should look pretty good together. Same thing on this side. So primary winch is here, and this is the other little Barlow that doesn't have much chrome left on it, so that one's going to get replaced with the other one also. Okay, so got the bolts out. This guy ready to come out. Get some screws off, and we'll get him off of there. Fast. All right. That little paw dropped out. All the butyl from whoever put it in there last. That's good. Well, he's not moving. Not moving at all. Really sealed on there. Oh, it almost looks like it's been painted on. Looks like when they painted the top side last, they painted right up onto the body of this thing. Might have to get a screwdriver and try and pry it off a little bit. Alright, let's see if we can get this guy off. Wow, that thing's really on there. I have to put a really big bar on it, try and pull it off. All right, so I managed to get all of the stuff off of here, and here's what I found. So I don't know, some of these holes look like they've been changed. This hole looks like it's been changed, or maybe they just messed it up when they did it. Really good amount of Sikaflex. There was a little bit of water in here, so that basically the water was trapped in there. So I'm gonna get that all cleaned off, and we're gonna silicone, or sorry, not silicone, but epoxy these holes up. And then what I'm going to do is put the take the other winch apart, put the base on here, mount the holes, drill those holes, oversize, I'm going to epoxy those holes, and then the new bolts are going to end up going through epoxy, not through fiberglass. All right, got the old winch off, and got the new mount on, and get ready to mark some holes, and then we'll drill it, and then we'll mix up some epoxy and fill up the holes. All right, let's mark some holes and drill them. Just going to use automatic center punch first. You haven't seen the automatic center punch. It's a spring-loaded punch. It's got a steel-hardened tip on the end. You press down on it where you want the hole, and it kind of fractures a little bit of the fiberglass, creates a little divot. It's pretty much used for steel quite a bit, and it stops your drill bit. So when you start to drill, it stops your drill bit from moving all around in a circle when you're trying to drill it. All right, it's my pilot holes. She fits. Perfect. All right, time to mix up some epoxy, fill up all of those holes, and then the oversized holes that I drilled for the winch, they'll get drilled out, and then the bolts will end up going through the epoxy. And you'll see that I did get a little bit of wood there, so that's the wood core. And I don't want any water getting into that wood core, so that's going to be all sealed up with epoxy. All right, so I've gone ahead and drilled the old holes out to make them a little bigger to hold the epoxy, and I've done that on both sides. There's the original one that I started, and time to mix up some epoxy and fill those holes. All right, ready to mix some epoxy. So I picked up some Total Boat. I found this stuff through a guy named the Duracell Project. Matt on the Duracell Project, he's an absolute fiberglass master, and if you go have a look at his channel, I'm going to link his video right up here. You can click on that. He is the absolute master of fiberglass. He's sponsored actually by Total Boat, and he's doing a massive redesign of a 60-foot racing boat. Was sponsored by Duracell in Ocean Race. And Matt ended up with this boat, and he's doing a complete refit on it. Him and his wife are going to end up cruising on that boat full time, but I think he does a really good job of talking about fiberglass, the do's and the don'ts, so check that out. Okay, so I've mixed up my 5-to-1 hardener and epoxy. I got my dust mask on because I'm going to add some thickener. It's in a silica sand and silica filler, and I don't really want to breathe any of it. So Okay, so epoxy's all in, holes are all epoxied, and on this side too. And we just have to wait for that to cure, then we can re-drill the holes smaller, put in the 1/4 inch bolts that hold the winches on, and all done. Okay guys, thanks for watching to the end. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. Next weekend I'll do version 2 of this, where I drill the epoxy and bolt in the winches with some backing plates, just to make sure that they don't pull out of the cabin, make sure it's all sealed up. And so if you like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you next weekend for some more Sailboat DIY.